we could start this segment. I've been meaning to watch this video. It's been on the back burner for ages. Turkey Tom uploaded a video on the Budday. It's been a while since we reacted to a Turkey Tom video. I think the last time I reacted to Turkey Tom was actually back in July. It was the Daniel Larson video that he did, which that's up on the channel if you guys are interested in watching that. But yeah, this video we're watching a video about the Budday, which was like a very notorious TikTok predator that existed. I saw a lot of commentary videos covering this guy, and it seemed like a pretty big story, though I didn't really tune into it at the time. I kind of know here and there that he was a bit of a predator, and it seemed like the allegations were credible to some capacity. But I guess we're going to refresh our memory with this video.
The year is 2018, a landmark year in more than a few ways. Elon Musk would launch a Tesla into space, Donald Trump would meet with Kim Jong-un, and Rockstar Games would release Red Dead Redemption 2. But 2018 also marked—
Yeah, 2018 was I would say it was a good year. I don't think it was an amazing year. I feel like I kind of played a role in some of the parts of my life that could have been like better when it comes to 2018. But overall, I don't think it was like a terrible year. Then transitioned into 2019, which was a bit of an odd year, to say the least, for me.
the rise of a new app that would take the world by storm.
Guys, there's a really cool
Ooh, TikTok!
app that I've been getting into lately called TikTok.
With every website's early existence comes its set of trailblazers.
You are a femboy furry.
And while some might think of Charli D'Amelio or Addison Rae when they think about TikTok
Yeah, Charli D'Amelio really took off her career, and then Dixie D'Amelio pretty much was riding off of Charli D'Amelio's fame.
pioneers, for me personally, someone else comes to mind.
What girls really look for in a guy. You don't have to be funny. Hell, you don't even have to be really that good looking. What they really want is they want a Batman in the streets and a Joker in the sheets.
That year,
Yeah, the Budday was like very weird. Like the Budday kind of strikes me as like some guy who was like in his 40s, although I know that he's in his 20s. He does not look 20. He looks a lot older. He looks like he's in his 40s. But I think he was like in 25 or in his late 20s. And, well, he got exposed for talking with people that are not of age, we'll say.
one man set social media ablaze, inspiring countless videos that would amass millions of views on TikTok and YouTube, uniting the old with the new in perfect harmony. Only one man could pull off that feat. Yet, as quickly as he burst onto the scene, he left, seemingly without a trace, disappearing from the eye of the general public.
Well, it was mainly because he got exposed, but we're about to find out more.
But that doesn't mean his story ended. So today, I'm going to take a trip down memory lane to understand the man, the myth, and the legend known online as the Budday. In 2017, Buddy Haynes was completely unknown. An aspiring voice actor and theater kid out of Tennessee,
Oh, it's always the theater kids. Dude, every fucking video, whenever we encounter a weird person, it's always got to be some weird fucking theater kid out of nowhere.
audition tapes didn't really reveal anything that would have set him apart from the average Joe. On his Facebook, he would post inspirational life quotes, while his profile picture has him looking like a soy jack posing with a statue of Taylor Swift.
That's fucking crazy. Not the soy jack. But I think a lot of people reposted a lot of like inspirational quotes. Like that was like a huge thing on Instagram and even Snapchat, like way back in the day. Some people still do that, though it's not really as popular. Maybe it's because I just don't go on social media anymore, so maybe I don't see it. So it's possible that like it's still a thing, but like I just try not to be on social media as much anymore because social media, in my opinion, is a poison. Unless you use it to like post clips. Like that's really all I use like traditional social media for these days, is just to post like TikTok clips and like YouTube Shorts clips. I'm so upset because my TikTok clips just don't fucking do anything. For some reason. Like, I feel like I'm shadow banned on TikTok. Like, I have a few followers and everything. By the way, guys, if you're watching this, go follow my TikTok. I'm gonna try, maybe what I should do is I should try to plug my TikTok in the middle of every single video, and do like a small segment on it, just to plug it in. I don't know. Maybe I should start doing that.
Hi, Taylor. Stewie Griffin.
His Facebook bio read,
But we'll start now. Guys, if you guys have not followed my TikTok, the link is in the description below. Please go follow my TikTok and show some support. I definitely need some support on my TikTok.
I'm a good guy who doesn't mind a night out on the town or a night indoors gaming with a side of pizza. Meanwhile, his Twitter account was a bit more on the gooner side, with him posting a ton of photos of women in swimwear, along with links to a site called live.me. Now,
Oh yeah, he's definitely gooning, for sure.
I checked out this website.
That happens to the best of us, but as long as everybody's of age, that's all that matters. But it doesn't seem like everybody was of age when the Budday was, I guess, talking with some people, so it definitely seemed very strange.
And I'm pretty sure that this guy was basically just watching cam girls all day. It's also worth noting
Not the fucking DSP clip where he accidentally had his webcam on when he was jerking off. That's insane. Uh-oh.
that some of the girls he was posting to his Twitter account appeared to be of questionable age.
Yeah, that's what it seems to be. Like, I know the Budday's age. I don't know how old he was in 2017, but I believe when the allegations happened, like in 2019, I believe, 2019 or 2020, he was in his, like, mid to late 20s. So I don't imagine his age is going to be that different in 2017 either, so it's probably not a appropriate age range. Yeah, very terrible stuff.
As you can probably see by now, this is not the kind of guy you would trust with any sort of serious responsibility. But without any influence, there wasn't anyone who was going to actually take him seriously. However, in 2018, he would set up an account on TikTok, which
26 years old, which means in 2018, which means he would have been 25 in 2017. Ouch. Ouch, ouch.
would allow him to indulge his more—
Again, I still am questioning, like, he just does not look like he's a 20-year-old. Like, you look at this guy, you would think he's like a 40-year-old, bro. You'd think he's a old-ass boomer.
performative side, such as lip syncing.
I love you, boy.
I love you too.
More lip syncing.
I got nothing and no one.
Hi.
And more lip syncing.
Ow! Ow, Charlie!
This content was pretty cringe on its own, but if you followed his account, you would likely notice a strange trend. Buddy had an interest in doing duets with women much younger than him.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's one thing to do duets with somebody who was, like, younger than you, but they're, like, a legal adult, right? If they were a legal adult, it'd be probably immature, but it would just be cringe, and that's where the story ends. But again, as we're going to get into later, it doesn't seem like that was the case.
Sometimes with individuals who were clearly children. Now, doing a TikTok duet with a child, albeit weird, is not inherently criminal. However, the context of many of these duets seemed pretty suggestive, and definitely not the behavior a father would want to see towards his daughter. So it didn't take long for his videos to begin circulating around online compilations that would highlight how creepy he was.
Okay, and then there appears to be like a bunch of videos of pretty old men doing duets with young girls.
God, I don't like Willany. Willany, like, excused I'm Alex giving false allegations. Pretty much he ran defense for I'm Alex until he couldn't anymore, and that was when I'm Alex got exposed for being a violently abusive person to Alice, his ex-girlfriend. That's when Willany stopped associating with him, not all the fucking bad shit that he did before.
I'm in trouble, I'm an addict, I'm addicted to this girl.
These videos drove a lot of people to his comment section to make fun of him, but Buddy wasn't about to take the memes lying down.
To my haters, all you're doing is fueling the fire. When you comment, like my stuff, follow me, and react to my videos trying to down me, you're just making it worse for you. Because I will continue to do duets with my fans.
Right, and responding to it in a video addressing the haters is definitely gonna make them stop doing it.
And I will continue to do videos from my house where I live with my parents who love and support me, and I support them because they need me.
And to be fair,
I also support those young girls I have in my history.
he wasn't exactly wrong about this. Whatever you thought about him, all publicity was good publicity. And people watched—
Do you think he would he would make a good collaborator with Boogie2988? And that's not because Boogie2988 is into kids, although he was about to get married to a 20-year-old while he was in his, like, late 40s, which, again, I think is immature. I think that's weird as fuck, but that doesn't make Boogie a predator. At the end of the day, she is a legal adult.
watching his videos to hate on him were—
I just think, I don't know, maybe they would make good collaborators on content, who knows?
just giving him more influence in a growing space. More haters did lead to more fans. The truth was that as foul as his TikToks were, there was no crime being committed here. If we were locking people up for being weird, then we'd probably have to start with a few others before we moved on to Budday here. Nevertheless, people's discomfort did reflect legitimate concerns.
Well, I think it's valid to feel discomfort for the way that he duetted with seemingly younger girls. Because, like, listen, if you saw a guy who looked, at the very least, looked 40, because when you look at the Budday, he definitely looks like he's in his 40s. So when you, like, see that, and you see that person duetting with, like, a girl who might be in, like, high school or even middle school or whoever knows what the fuck, you can look at that and go, yeah, that's a little strange. I mean, I don't know. There may not be anything sexual going on, but it's, like, it's very weird that an older guy is even wanting to interact with these people to begin with. And that could open the door for something very lewd to happen.
Idea that Budday's preference to make TikTok duets with young women wasn't just because they were his fans, but instead that there were some ulterior motives at play here. And in October 2018, these concerns were validated when a TikTok user by the name of Budday went live with allegations against him for privately targeting and messaging underage fans with
She's got pronouns in the bio. That means Asmongold fans are going to dismiss all her allegations. Man, Asmongold really do be on everything.
sexual intent.
Other girls then started messaging that girl and showing them that Budday sent them. Keep in mind, all the girls are way underage. Girls in second grade look like they're seniors. Second and third is like 7th grade. Like, this goes down to like 14, 13-year-old girls.
Yeah. No, I do remember one of the allegations. I think the Budday was messaging one of the somebody who was like a 14-year-old while he was like 26, which is pretty fucking insane shit if that's true. That's pretty damning.
This guy has been talking to.
Like many creators at that time, Liz or Budday had spent a lot of 2018 assembling compilations of creators she found to be creepy. Unfortunately, all of these compilations appear to be lost to time, but in an interview she gave to BuzzFeed, she said she had made one of these compilations about Budday, and from there got a message from an underage person who offered to test the waters to see if Budday was truly a man of action. I would not recommend anyone underage approaching someone who may have sexual interest in that demographic, but it seems they went ahead with this social experiment anyway.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why when you see like a lot of people doing predator catchers, like I'm going to use Gideon as an example because I think Gideon does a lot of solid predator catchers. I remember when Gideon first started out, he collaborated with, what is it, Skeet Hansen or Skeeter Jean, I think his name is. Yeah, that's how Gideon started and got his he got his feet wet in like the whole predator catching thing. But then Gideon was able to do it himself because Gideon like knew how they worked and he had more experience with it and he got better at it and he's been getting better and better at it. Gideon does a pretty good job. Like, he's gotten a lot of really disgusting predators locked up and he does involve law enforcement. And so I would say, but you have to remember the point that I'm making, right? Is that a lot of the decoys that they used, even Chris Hansen, who I'm not a huge fan of Chris Hansen personally because I think he's kind of a grifter at times, but I can't deny that he has done good work. He has locked up really disgusting people off the streets, so he has done some good stuff. I gotta give credit where credit's due, even if I'm not a fan of Chris Hansen. But like, all the decoys that they use are of age. Like, they are legal adults, but they pretend to be like 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds, 14-year-olds, or whoever, right? They're pretending to be young just so they can lure them in. If you use a decoy that is legitimately like a minor, like a legitimately underage person as a decoy, that is bad because they can still victimize themselves to the conversation of this person. So it's really like, you got to be careful not to like actually use legitimate minors as decoys, because I'm pretty sure there were some people that were busted for that. I don't remember off the top of my head who was busted off of that, but there have been people who have used legitimate minors as decoys, and you got to be like super, super careful.
And to great success.
Do you think I'm attractive? Oh, how old are you? 14. I mean, may I be honest? Yeah, of course. If it was me, I'd try to make the relationship with you last for years.
After finding out she was 14, Jesus Christ.
LOL, I feel like I look stupid. You're okay, don't worry about it. I kind of sort of have a crush on you, and shouldn't.
Although
that's crazy. I shouldn't have a crush on you, but I am attracted to you. You're a 14-year-old while I'm 26 years old. Oof. Oof, yeah, that's pretty damning. That's pretty fucking damning.
Though the conversations were reported to have begun innocently enough, they quickly devolved into Buddy developing an interest in this young person, and taking it immediately into sexual territory.
I mean, you're the cute one here, not me, so.
The evidence would make its
That's fucking crazy.
way to YouTubers in no time, most notably Bionic Pig, who uploaded a video covering the saga and providing his take on everything.
I don't have the original picture, but the one that they have is just a blurred out one. Yeah, the picture's blurred out, but you can definitely tell that it is a dick pic.
There was now undeniable proof that Buddy's TikToks weren't just for show. He was a genuinely disturbed person, and definitely not someone who should be handling any online following. But just like when people made fun of him for being creepy in public, he wasn't about to turn the other cheek once his messages were leaked. His first line of defense was that he had been hacked, and that the allegations were falsely framing him, as it became clear that this was somewhat impossible given the content of some of the allegations.
Yeah, sure. I had been hacked. Oh no. Yeah, okay. I seriously doubt that.
He would change his angle when talking to BuzzFeed, stating that although
It certainly doesn't help that he was duetting with, like, other young girls while he wasn't hacked, and it was clearly him. And that was before AI was a thing. Can you imagine the excuses he could come up with now if this happened today? He could just say that all the duets he did were AI generated, that it wasn't actually him. He would have more of an out now than he did back then, especially nowadays, with, like, plenty of people defending Trump who's on the fucking Epstein files. Like, predators are being defended constantly today, so I wouldn't doubt that, like, the Budday would have more of an opportunity to get away with it now than he did back then.
though they may have been true, he denied their sexual nature. He also states that he was drunk at the time and didn't remember sending that stuff, and was unaware of the person's age. Even though, if you look at the DMs, he clearly kept talking to them once they said they were 14. He was speedrunning every possible defense at once, but none of it was working. Liz even posted her own response to the hacking claims.
But now Buddy's saying that, like, I hacked into his iCloud and whatever, and, like, sent these pictures and videos. If that was the case, how could I have gotten them to match up so well with that conversation? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
With all of the backlash getting bigger and bigger, Buddy would briefly leave the internet. Although once he returned, he basically tried the same approach as when people were calling his videos creepy, labeling everyone who was criticizing him as haters.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen, Budday is back. For those that missed me, I'm sorry. For those that were big haters while I was gone, it's okay. I just decided to take a little mini vacation from TikTok, just to kind of cool myself off from all the fire that's been going around.
The fire that's been going on from the fact that people are calling me out for my disgusting behavior in DMs.
So I'm back. There is no stopping me. There is no stopping the storm.
He really tried, what is it, is his name Austin Jones or whatever? Because Austin, was that his name? I can't remember if it was Austin Jones or something. There was this guy named Austin back in the day who was, like, part of a band or whatever. He did music, and he got exposed for messaging tons, like, multiple underage girls. While I think he was, like, was he like 20 or 21? I could be wrong. I don't know what the age was, but I know the age gap was not appropriate. But he was messaging multiple underage girls, and he pretty much took the route of, like, whitewashing and being like, yeah, the haters are saying all these things about me, and they are saying all these, like, he was being, like, super manipulative in his responses, and, like, he's really trying that approach.
The fire that is the Budday. For those that like me or follow me just to spread hate, to try to get me off this app, you realize you're wasting your time. Best thing for you to do is just to block and not follow, because the less followers I get, the less more I want to be on. The more followers I get, the more I love to be on here. Even if it's just to piss you off.
But obviously, this kind of thing only really works comedically when you're not being accused of a crime. Once you're called a criminal, you basically have to either stay silent or legitimately try to debunk the claims. This weird in-between was not well received.
Well, that's not necessarily true. You have fucking Donald Trump who, like, says that it's fake news and he lies about it, and yet people are still willing to defend him. You have people like fucking Megyn Kelly who says that 15-year-olds are basically adults. So, like, at this point, like, you can get it. Like, it's not nearly as punishing as it used to be, funny enough. Like, as disgusting as it sounds, that's just the unfortunate reality that we live in. So I feel like if the Budday said this today, I feel like he would honestly still have a career. He'd be totally fine.
And
that's just the disgusting reality. I don't think what he did was okay whatsoever, and he absolutely deserves to get canceled for it, but I I don't make the rules. The status quo is in whatever MAGA wants.
He went back into hiding, with his account being banned by TikTok shortly after. The allegations against him were given further credibility when another YouTuber, Jay Aubrey, performed an investigation of his own, where he got new evidence from another person who claimed that the Budday had made inappropriate advances towards her while she was underage.
Why don't you just send me something? Well, it's like blowing a kiss or something. If you don't want to, that's fine. Maybe next week we...
Damn, so not only was his Instagram DMs hacked, his Snapchat DMs were hacked too simultaneously. Yeah, that makes sense, because it makes the odds of you getting hacked on not one but two accounts is very, very common at the same time.
Can meet? Just meet you and see you, honestly. Maybe...
He tried to meet up with them too? Jesus Christ, what a freak. What a total fucking freak. Oh my god.
Meet in Nashville or something. Sent you something on Snap. Oops, may I be honest? Yeah, sure, haha. I sent those videos because I'm sorta turned on and wanted to tease you.
Oh my god, what a fucking loser. It's so cringe.
Now, it seemed unlikely that
Oh, what an animal.
multiple different people would go so far as to frame him. And with Jay Aubrey's video accumulating millions of views, his situation was only going more viral, with more videos, articles, and posts being made calling him out. But what set this scandal apart from others was how many views were being generated from a seemingly inconsequential person. The evidence pointed towards him being a predator, but let's be honest, it's not like they're particularly rare online. But for some reason, people loved watching videos about the Budday. I guess every online space does need its own brand of losers, creeps, and pedos, and Budday was a pioneering figure in creating that sort of individual that people hadn't really experienced before. He was the first of many creepy TikTokers who clearly had some sort of mental problem that would probably interfere with their ability to garner followings on other platforms. But it worked in a sort of perverse way in short-form video. This uncanny valley style of content, complemented by the credible allegations against him, made him a very unique guy in the landscape, and a unique guy to put in YouTube thumbnails.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, all he did was he tried the Austin Jones defense. I really don't know his name. I'm gonna look up after this video. I don't feel like looking it up right now because this is a long video and we have a lot to get through, but like, I could have sworn that like Austin Jones did the same thing where his response was like pretty much the same thing where he was like trying to manipulate his audience into believing that it was just haters trying to take him down or whatever.
Videos about him could deal with his more disturbing side while also managing to be...
Oh, it was also Lion Maker. Lion Maker was doing the same fucking thing in his response. Lion Maker was saying that like the haters were trying to take him down, even though Lion Maker was like a disgusting fucking like pedophile.
Funny, because Budday was such a cringelord. But this level of attention was not something that Budday prepared for, and his momentary disappearance from online life marked the end of a popular but short-lived stint of internet fame. Most people of a viral nature, positive or negative, have to work very hard to keep themselves in the public consciousness. And it seemed that Budday wasn't able to do that. Even if he wanted to, the loss of his TikTok account greatly reduced his platform and his ability to pick up where he left off.
Well, I think it's probably a good thing that TikTok took down his platform, because I don't think TikTok wants someone like him being a predator on their platform or having someone platformed like that, because it probably makes them look bad. So it's probably a good thing that he's not able to upload content anymore.
So, as 2018 gave way to 2019, people just moved on, even while Budday was still finding himself in the midst of more allegations.
It's been a few months since we talked about the Budday on this channel, and during that time frame, I received literally dozens upon dozens of emails from concerned fans who claim to have personal experiences with Budday Haynes.
Oh, damn. So it definitely, I mean, I'm not really surprised that he's had multiple people that he's talked to, because he does seem like a serial predator. But like dozens of people, like this guy is obviously like a real fucking problem. It's no wonder TikTok didn't want him on their platform.
His inappropriate behavior wasn't original anymore, but it seems like Budday wasn't ready to let go of the small slice of attention he had once received.
I was gonna say, you don't have to cover up for me, haha. You're cute. I'd love to get to know you more. Wish I was there. I'd want you. You're beautiful. I kinda like you. You'd be a good girl. 16, right?
16, right? Yeah. 16, 15, 14. I mean, like I said, the youngest girl that to my knowledge, that he was messaging was a fucking 14-year-old, which is even worse than a 16-year-old. Not to say that you should message 16-year-olds at the age of 25 or 26. That's still fucking disgusting, but, you know, there is a level of bad to everything.
This is the Snapchat that she was talking about that proves Buddy Haynes knows about her age. Into you so. And lastly, she sent a video that shows Buddy pulling down his shirt and making a suggestive face.
That's crazy.
As we've seen with countless examples of these kinds of people, even if they're forced to give up their online following, they often struggle to come to terms with it, instead making new accounts to get back that attention. But before I go any further, a message from today's sponsor.
Well, I think Nova Online is more of like, that one was a bit of a more nuanced situation to my knowledge. And I haven't done like a full deep dive into Nova Online, but I'm pretty sure Nova Online is in the IDD community. They have an intellectual developmental disability. That doesn't make what they do okay by messaging underage people, but, you know, you have to take a different approach with it because they are not operating at the same brain wavelength as most people would be.
Header Belt. Do you have a hard time?
Hey, you know what we do, guys? We always watch all the ads.
Focusing in class, reaching a plateau in the gym? Well, it might be because you have depression. And if you do, then there's no better solution than Header Belp, the only website where you can talk to a guy on Skype in your room alone, and you get to pay for it.
I tried Fetter Belp, and my grades went from a C- average to an A+.
I tried Fetter Belp, and now my
Fetter Belp. I always thought that, like, I mean, everybody's making fun of BetterHelp because of the controversy that they were in and that the scams that they were enabling, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I haven't deep dived all the actual BetterHelp controversy, but I didn't know Fetter Belp was like a thing. Is this like a joke?
grandkids forgot that I left my wife for a Brazilian baddie.
I hate my life.
So try Header Belp today.
Fucking Daniel Larson on the doctor thing. Dude, if Daniel Larson was my doctor, I would fucking run out immediately. I wouldn't trust that man in a tiny room for like 5 seconds.
Okay, but I do actually have a new shirt. Okay, please buy it. Rent is due soon.
Oh, okay, it was a joke, so it's just merch plugging. All right, well, we're still gonna watch it nonetheless.
The shirt's pretty sick, okay? I promise. It's legendary. Look at it. It's legendary.
I was about to say, like, it just seemed like kind of a joke the way that Tom was like plugging Header Belp or whatever.
This side, we got this side, we got this cool designs, okay? It's kind of schizo. It's legendary, okay? turkeytom.shop. Now back to the video. Buddy wasn't about to give up on
Well, he surely wanted to rolly into the DMs of that 14-year-old and the 16-year-old that he was talking to.
His dreams of being an internet celebrity. So he decided it was time for a rebrand. He began calling himself the Masked Freak Alpha.
Oh no, is he leaning into the Andrew Tate grift? Is he becoming red-pilled now? Aw, man, everybody bullied him into becoming an incel.
Which is definitely an interesting decision considering what people were exposing him for.
No one cared who I was till I put on the mask.
He didn't really make a great effort to hide his identity. In fact, it seemed more like a gimmick designed to attract attention from anyone who was still interested. Unfortunately for him, a majority of people had moved on to whoever the next notorious online figure was at the time. However, a few people...
Well, I'm pretty sure the Budday stuff had been long died down since the Dr. Disrespect situation, and Dr. Disrespect is definitely like a gross person. It's pretty clear to me that Dr. Disrespect tried to meet up with a minor at TwitchCon while he was like 35. We don't even know the age of the minor, but it's still very disgusting.
Did stick around to provide this chapter of his life with some coverage. The most interesting one being a creator by the name of Activiz. He would talk about Buddy, often reporting on any updates and mocking his content, with the most interesting part being Buddy's repeated claims that he was in fact the victim of the drama from 2018.
I was not trying to flirt with her. I was just trying to be friendly. Y'all can take it however you want, but I did nothing wrong.
Okay. Interesting. Because, like, the narrative at first was that Budday was hacked, but now he did send those messages himself, but he was just only doing it friendly, even though we saw DMs of him saying that they're cute and that they would date them and that he had a crush on them, which is obviously flirting with a minor. So, good stuff, dude. Wow, you're a very consistent story that you have there.
If you're trying to be friendly, why would you wish someone was there with you? And you're telling them that she would be a good girl
and you're literally sending her a video of you pulling your shirt down and making a weird face. That ain't being friendly.
Buddy would eventually catch wind of this, but by now, he knew that just calling Activiz a hater wasn't gonna work. So he uploaded a diss track to SoundCloud called Alpha.
Oh my god, he made a diss track on this like random small creator? I mean, like, if you looked at his content...
Buddy would eventually...
Bro, this guy only had, like, is just sub 3K subs. And so now he's just, oh my god. He's literally going after this random nobody, and he's gonna unintentionally plug this content creator and put him on the map, even though, like, he's only getting, like, 1K views, like, at most.
Catch wind of this, but by now, he's
That's crazy.
Called Alpha. The description here reads, "It's not your traditional rap. It's got the flow, but a different kind of glow. I prefer a little something like Hollywood Undead mixed with Bo Burnham." I honestly can't think of a better description.
Wake up in the morning, sipping on my haters' tears, feasting on the doubts and begging the fears. Gotta get ready to get the spread. As you talk shit, your girl's giving me head.
That's crazy. Honestly, he's gonna make it into the X Factor, and Simon Cowell is gonna look at this and go, "Yeah, I'm pressing the button. I'm doing it."
Starting to notice
he's got a chance.
Trend here. Get outed as some kind of creepy person, and then, for some reason, make a song about it.
Well, just to be clear, with Ava Tyson, like, I don't know, man. Like, the Ava Tyson shit was not good, and I don't think Ava Tyson should be a content creator, but, like, Ava wasn't trying to talk to kids. Like, I don't know. Like, I saw the B-roll of Ava. Ava just had, like, inappropriate interactions with minors that were just, like, edgy jokes and edgy boy humor. I don't mean to say that in a transphobic way, just to be clear. But, like, again, like, that's very different compared to somebody like the Budday, who's, like, actually messaging and flirting with minors and like, even, like, suggesting the idea of trying to, like, meet up with them. It's, like, very different situations. Now, again, if people want to say Ava Tyson's a pedophile because of the lolicon shit, that's totally fine, because I think if you're into lolly, you're most likely a pedophile. But again, Ava wasn't trying to, like, talk to kids. We didn't see anything that was them, Ava trying to, like, wear down their boundaries to make them more open to sexual conversation. We didn't see anything that indicated that.
The toxic gossip train.
Same for Colleen Ballinger. Colleen Ballinger's, like, the same thing. Like, what she did wasn't grooming, but, like, she's, like, just had, like, inappropriate interactions and she shouldn't be a content creator. That's literally it.
There really should be a Wikipedia page about these people at this point. Maybe a Watch Mojo list. Top 10 losers, creeps, and pedos who made...
Well, I don't know. I think there is an important conversation about if you lump Colleen Ballinger in the same boat as, like, EDP or the Budday, who are both legitimate predators, and I would argue, I don't think it's disproportionate to say that the Budday is, like, a threat to society based on what I've seen so far. Like, this guy is, like, disgusting, and he is definitely a threat to children. But, like, when you lump these people in the same boat, you're actually doing a disservice to survivors of child sexual abuse and people that are victims of people like the Budday and EDP. I think that that's, like, a really... Like, you do a massive disservice to those people when you lump them in the same boat, because you have actually made legitimate predatory behavior impossible to identify. Like, again, Ava Tyson and Colleen Ballinger, I don't think they should be content creators, but, like, when people say that they're in, like, the same boat as them, it kind of, like, irritates me, because it's just like, okay, you're obviously doing this as, like, a weird joke, and you're not actually, like, I don't know, it just feels like you don't actually care about the facts of the story when you do shit like that, but, okay. I mean, it's not, the criticism is not limited to just Turkey Tom, by the way, just to be clear. It's more of just, like, people, like, a ton of people do that online. It's not just Turkey Tom that does it.
Diss tracks about it. But this song begs the question, is it just an attempt to farm attention, or does he actually think he is winning something here? Activiz would upload his own diss track using the beat from Eminem's Kill Shot to make his own point.
You a grown-ass man in a fedora hat and in the age 27 with a terrorist mask.
And Buddy would provide a response, showing Activiz what a direct diss would look like.
I'm going to slow it down for this clown so you can understand what it's like to fuck with a real man. You're going to copy Eminem's Kill Shot? Is that really the best you got? Did you really think my words were directed at you? Hell, we don't even give a shit what you do. I don't even know who you were till a fan showed me you trying to cause a stir.
They would trade blows in the following months with more fascinating diss tracks that seemed to highlight Buddy's own ineptitude.
Honestly, I think that the Budday is winning. He's kind of killing you a bit, Activiz, not gonna lie. Like, you're taking a lot of shots, bro. You gotta come back strong. You gotta come back with the heat.
However, what would happen next would significantly escalate this drama.
The first girl, or I guess you say the first video of the whole "I'm crushing on you more" video. That girl's 19, not to be 20.
Yeah, okay, why didn't you just say that then? You're like being like, oh, these haters are just hating on me or whatever. Why didn't you just respond with that then? I don't even believe him, by the way. Like, obviously he's lying here. But I just, like, again, if that was true, why didn't you say it at the time that the controversy was at its height and not when nobody knows who the fuck you are anymore?
The girl who edited the video is the same age as well.
After being targeted before,
the girl who edited the video, isn't it that one person who was like 24 or something, or is the Budday talking about a different girl?
Think that, but
because I'm pretty sure if he's talking about that like other girl, like the one that we saw on Instagram, what is it, the Bithoji or whatever? Bithoji was like 24 when she released the allegations.
He would have wisened up to people.
It's possible he might be talking about a different girl though.
Trying to farm his disturbed tendencies for free content, especially given he had continued to contest the allegations that had been presented against him in the past. In many of these diss tracks, he had accused his haters and people like Activiz of pushing these false allegations when they didn't really know the truth.
Believe nothing on YouTube that you see. They got your mind living like a zombie.
So Activiz decided to put this to the test. He made a catfish.
I mean, they're definitely not false. Like, the Budday's narrative has changed like 3 times, and I'm pretty sure he's lying about the girl saying that she's 19. Like, I don't even believe that.
Account of a
and if it was true, he absolutely would have presented that information in the beginning. If that was true, he would have debunked it immediately if that was legitimate, but it's not, and he obviously waited like a year before he responded to that claim specifically when no one knows who the fuck he is.
17-year-old girl and initiated conversations with Buddy. He ended up revealing the results in a video uploaded at the end of July 2019. Activiz says that he's not doing it with the intent to have Buddy arrested, and as far as the conversations here, they didn't veer into sexual territory. But Buddy definitely was flirtatious. It's behavior that would still be deemed inappropriate towards a 17-year-old girl by a man of Buddy's age. So they eventually arranged a meeting point, with the plan being to take a nice walk around the park. But to Buddy's disappointment, there was no 17-year-old girl. It was just Activiz and a camera there to ask him questions about past allegations.
Hey man, it's good.
Oh, Lord have mercy. How are you?
Yeah, he thought he was going to meet up with a 17-year-old. This is literally after all of his allegations. Even after he got called out for the dozens of allegations prior, he still wanted to fucking meet up with a 17-year-old. This guy cannot control himself.
Good. Good. What you up?
Yeah, I mean, based off everything I've seen so far, the Budday definitely should be arrested. Hopefully he does, like, later in this story, and he stays in prison, because I just don't think that this guy can be in society in any meaningful way, based on everything that I've seen so far.
I'm just hanging out.
Just hanging out?
Yep.
Not meeting friends?
No.
All things considered, the meeting is surprisingly civil. Buddy states he's not actually there to meet anyone, despite being exactly where he said he would be to Activiz's catfish account. Either he's being blindingly stupid in thinking he can lie to someone who has set him up, or he's being blindingly stupid by not realizing why Activiz is there instead of a 17-year-old girl.
So you don't know anyone by the name of Kat?
No. I don't know anybody named Kat.
You weren't meeting anyone here by 6?
No.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I don't know anybody named Kat. I pretty much, when I left here, I don't barely talk to anybody except my family that's here.
So Activiz then confronts Buddy surrounding the allegations, with Buddy stating that his messages were misconstrued, or that there was missing context that would lead someone to a different conclusion. But none of the people reporting on this had journalistic integrity.
The video itself, they said it was creepy, but nothing.
Like I said, he ran with the first narrative that his account was hacked, and that somebody else was on his account, even though he then later changed his story to being like, oh, I did message them, but it's not what everybody is making it out to be, or whatever. Okay, yeah, like, the story is changing.
Was done wrong there.
Right.
As far as they were concerned, but they were more concerned about the picture and how that was being sent around. And they had already done an IP search and everything, so they were able to clear that did not come from my IP address, neither my phone nor my address.
Okay.
So now he's changing the story to back to him being hacked again, even though he admitted that it was him that sent the messages earlier.
But because it no longer had to do with me, they won't tell me anything else about how they got sent to that 15-year-old.
However, when a situation regarding his comments towards a 16-year-old girl came up, one where the evidence heavily suggested that he was very much aware of her age, he tries a different and...
He also was aware of that 14-year-old that he was talking to, and apparently he came here to meet up with a 17-year-old, so... Yeah, this guy... Jesus Christ, I would not be able to... He has to be arrested.
Far less successful defense.
All right, and then the last thing I do want to ask about is the thing with the 16-year-old girl. So what was the real gist of that? Because there's still people confused about that.
That one? Okay, so from my understanding, yes, the girl was 16.
Right.
But she told me she was from the UK.
Okay.
Now, whether or not this is, something that really irritates people or not, age of consent in UK is 16.
Yeah, okay. Listen, this is a whole conversation I've had on the channel before, where I do think we need to change the age of consent in these countries to, 18. Especially in the US, most of the states, it's 16 or 17, and that's really disgusting. Just because the age of consent is one way in a certain state or in a certain place, that doesn't necessarily make it morally okay. I mean, just because something is there's a massive difference between legality and morality, right? Now, unfortunately, if the law says something is okay to do, then people are going to follow the law and be like, yeah, I mean, they're going to get the idea that it's okay to do, right? That it's acceptable to do in society, right? That's why, Romeo and Juliet laws existed between, I don't know, let's just say a 16-year-old or a 20-year-old hooked up, right? Both of them hooked up. I say that's inappropriate. I'm not a huge fan of it, and I don't think that should be legal, personally. But I would say that's more of a misdemeanor rather than an actual felony or whatever, or something that should put you on the sex offender registry, because I think it's an inappropriate age gap. I just don't think it's okay. But that is legal, because Romeo and Juliet laws excuse up to a 4-year age gap, so... unfortunately, a lot of people are going to grow up with the mentality that it is acceptable to do that in a lot of different spaces, or a lot of different states, we'll say. Again, I think we need to change the age of consent to 18. But I also, again, this guy is changing his story so much. At first it was hacked. Now it was that he did message them, but there was, it was only friendly talk. It was nothing too sexual or whatever. And now he's running the narrative oh, it is a 16-year-old, but oh, the age of consent is 16, so what I'm doing is okay. It's okay, dude, your story is changing so many fucking times. Which one is it? So, we could have a nuanced conversation about how we need to change age of consent. I agree. I think we do need to raise it. I would say raise it to the legal drinking age, to be honest, especially now with so many people maturing slower. But still, it's very, you know what I mean?
Everywhere. So even if I was saying those things towards her, there's nothing illegal about that.
Here, Budday seems to miss the point that even if what he did was legal, it wasn't. What he did was not appropriate. Sharing any form of sexual content over the internet with someone under the age of 18 is illegal, and it would still be frowned upon to sexually engage with a 16-year-old as someone in your late 20s, even if the law supports you.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what I'm saying. It's again, there's a difference between legality and morality. Nobody wants to see someone in their mid to late 20s sleep with a 16-year-old. That's fucking disgusting. That's gross. Right? It's just but there's no nuance here. That is a predatory age gap, and you shouldn't be engaging with a 16-year-old while you're in your mid to late 20s.
I think this defense is also revealing in the fact that Budday's logic suggests that if the age of consent was lower, he might have felt comfortable engaging with even younger parties.
Pretty much, yeah, that's actually a good point. And also, you have to remember that he was flirting with a 14-year-old while he was 26, so, he was totally comfortable with it, even if it wasn't illegal. So, I mean, this guy is a disgusting creep, and that's kind of just where we're at.
I guess if you were raised in an environment where this kind of dynamic was normalized, you might be able to use this as a defense, but Budday himself makes it very apparent that he doesn't approve of inappropriate age gaps either, or sexual conversations with minors.
I've got a niece that's...
Again, with the again, you keep using Ava Tyson as an example, but like Ava Tyson wasn't sexting minors. Like that's like a very weird way to frame. Again, like people are so annoying when it comes to the Ava Tyson situation because like they just hear one or two things on the internet and then they're like, oh yeah, that's a fact. And it's like very like, it's just like, again, Turkey Tom's not the only one that does it, but like it's just irritating because it like completely removes the nuance in the conversation, right? I don't think what Ava did was good. You shouldn't be having jokes with minors, especially ones as young as like 13 while you're like 21 or something. I believe Ava was like 21 or 22 and was like making like inappropriate jokes with minors in that space. But it's not like Ava Tyson was trying to sexually exploit a child, right? Like, we have to, like, understand this completely. Like, comparing Ava Tyson to somebody like the Budday or EDP is, like, honestly, like, again, that completely does a massive disservice to people who have been through horrific, like, who have been heavily victimized by legitimate predators.
14, so I wouldn't want some nasty freaking pedophile talking to her either.
So the question becomes, why would he use this as a defense that implies he doesn't know better when he's already stated that he does know better? It just doesn't make sense. This doesn't really fill a critical viewer with
because he's lying, obviously. Like, he's changed his story like 2 or 3 times. Like, he kept saying that he was hacked and then he wasn't hacked, and now it's he's changed his story so many fucking times at this point.
Confidence that Budday is a person who has either been framed or has done something wrong and genuinely feels remorse. He also states that he learned the age of consent in each state, which is equally weird.
That is a pretty weird thing. Like, it's one thing to know about the age of consent in, like, some places, especially the one that you live in, and some places in the US and, like, in the UK, I guess. But if you know it, like, in every single part of the world, every single place in the world, that is a little bit weird, for sure.
There's nothing illegal.
I guess if you're a lawyer, you kind of have to know some of that stuff as well. Because that is part of the law, so that's like the only excuse I can think of for knowing that sort of thing. But for someone like the Budday, he obviously wants to know about it so he can fuck as young as he can. Or get away with fucking people as young as like 13, because I'm pretty sure Japan had like an age of consent of 13 at one point. I think they changed it. I forget which year they changed it, but it was like 13 for a while, so if Budday could get away with fucking a 13-year-old in Japan, I would not doubt that he would do it.
About that. Now.
Here there is.
Yes, here.
Here in the United States there is. In the UK it is.
Not in every state. In Illinois, in Illinois it's 16. Michigan is 17.
So the age of consent in Michigan is 16. The age of consent is raised to 18 when the older party is an authority figure. Okay, yeah. Obviously, there's going to be, like, exceptions, and it's going to vary from state to state. Obviously, if they're within, like, a reasonable age range, it's fine. But, like, the Budday is, like, in his mid to late 20s, so that's obviously inexcusable.
But still, like, legal doesn't necessarily mean right. Slavery was legal. A bunch of things were legal. Okay. Prostitution was legal.
But
I mean, prostitution is a whole separate conversation. Me personally, I think prostitution should be legalized, quite frankly, but we don't have to get into that discussion. I have my beliefs on why I believe prostitution should be legalized. Some people say it's wrong, and like it is what it is. People are going to have their opinions about it. I'm pretty sure the only state where prostitution is legalized is Nevada, specifically. I think that's like the only state where prostitution is legalized, but at all other 49 states, it's illegal.
So,
Budday clearly isn't the sharpest knife in the drawer. He might have developmental issues that predispose him to certain behavior. Nevertheless, although his flagrant lies may show a lack of maturity for someone of his age, immature people can feel remorse for their poor decisions and wish to change. Something that the Budday doesn't seem super interested in, if his own words are anything to go by.
Was it ever determined if the Budday was like part of the IDD community necessarily? I don't know for sure. He doesn't strike me as somebody as part of the IDD community. Like, he seems very, like, capable of knowing what is right and what isn't right. And he knows some of the shit he did was wrong, but he still did it.
To that girl since then.
Right.
Me and her are still friends to this day.
Well, that's definitely not a green flag. It's quite the opposite.
She apologized to me, and I apologized to her.
So,
Why would she need to apologize to you? What the fuck did she do? You're the one that's the perpetrator of these sexual conversations.
Oh, that even sent in to those people at Inform Overload in the first
I don't know. Honestly, I'm still trying to figure out why any of that stuff was sent to Inform Overload.
Wow, it must have been the hackers again, hacking Buddy's account and sending incriminating evidence to news channels.
You can't keep getting away with it!
Well, that's pretty much all I wanted to ask, and I'll ask one more time. You positive you never talked to someone's name?
100%.
So someone by the name of Sweet Baby Cat never talked to you on Snapchat?
No.
And that face that I showed you never looked familiar?
Does not look familiar to me.
You've never talked to that person within the past 3 months?
No. Does not.
What if I told you that was me?
Huh?
What if I told you that was me?
Then I would say that's pretty fucked up if that was you, but I don't know who that is.
It's only fucked up because it wasn't an actual kid, and it was somebody that was catfishing you into thinking that you were messaging a minor. Oh, wow, interesting.
Buddy maintains his lie that he had never heard of this person named Kat, saying that he just happened to be in the same park where he would meet this girl on Snapchat. He concludes the conversation with a legal threat.
If that does show up on your channel, I will have the police involved because you did not have my consent.
In spite of this threat, though, Activiz knows his rights and points out that Tennessee, where this was filmed, is a one-party consent state.
Well, you're in public. You have no expectation of privacy.
Yes, I am. I do have expectations of privacy. I'm still a private.
Damn, Activiz educated himself on the law before he did this.
Citizen.
I would say the one criticism I would give to Activiz is that he didn't involve police when he, like, catfished the Budday and lured him out here. Like, I feel like if you were, if you really wanted to get this man behind bars, you would do what, like, Gideon does and, like, work with law enforcement to try to get this person catched. You would also have to set the age to, like, maybe 13 or something, or, like, someone really young, so that way, like, he would stay locked up for a while.
Did not give you permission to film me.
You're in a public park, though.
It doesn't matter if it's a public park or not. You did not have my permission to film me. Now,
I can't make money off of it. We're in a public park.
I don't care.
It's not a surprise that Buddy's grasp on consent is somewhat limited, but still, it was a pretty...
That's fucking crazy. Turkey Tom just made that joke. Okay.
Embarrassing and incriminating end to an exchange which could have given the fallen TikTok starlet a means to redemption.
My honest opinion, do I think the Budday is a pedophile?
Yeah. I don't think there was ever a way back for someone like Buddy Hain.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, like, if you look at the definition of pedophilia requires prepubescent children. I don't think we saw, like, a prepubescent child involved, but at the same time, I'm not going to rule it out either, because he definitely seems like the kind of person that would sext a 13-year-old, just to be clear. Like, if he's willing to go as young as 14, he might be willing to go younger. Honestly, I don't really know if this guy deserves any charity after everything we've seen.
But the one thing I would say is that the drama at the end of 2018 moved so quickly that it would have been hard for anyone to respond competently, no matter how damning many of the DMs and pictures were at the time. But now, with the dust mostly settled, there was no real pressure for Buddy to be completely transparent about the person he was, what was true, and what wasn't true. Yet, this interview doesn't bring us any closer to actually seeing his perspective. It just seems like smoke and mirrors from our online outcast. It also demonstrated that he was still unfit to possess any online presence at all, let alone actually command a fan base. Sadly, it seems that Freak Alpha was less alpha and much more freak. At the start of 2020, Buddy would start a new series on his YouTube channel called Campfire Chat. These videos featured him speaking more directly to his viewers about subjects that mattered to him, with his favorite subject being himself. And in the new year, he uploaded a video attempting to apologize and address the past allegations. I'm not going to break this one down in full, as it's not his official response, which we'll get to soon, but it definitely showcases his continued inability to confront what he did.
So, this is not me admitting to anything.
You kind of already did, though, when you said that the age of consent was in the UK was 16, but it doesn't matter because apparently there were explicit images sent, which would be sending images to a minor, and if you received any images from the minor, that would also be like a crime too.
Or agreeing with anything. This is me accepting responsibility. Because looking back, there's probably things I could have done different.
His narrative does...
like what?
doesn't really
Is he going to continue to be vague with this like fourth response that he's doing or whatever?
Diverge too much from prior statements, and framing it as an apology is honestly giving it a bit too much credit. He denies that he knowingly behaved inappropriately and says that he would never ever be sexual or suggestive towards underage individuals.
There's plenty of videos. You can probably look at them. I don't want to really delve too much into that. I would never.
So if you're not willing to dive too deep into it, like why are you responding for like the fourth or fifth time or whatever how many fucking times this response is?
Intentionally bother or creep on anyone that is not a legal adult. I'm just not that kind of person.
Okay, great. So his story is changing for like the third or fourth time at this point. I would never creep on anybody that's underage ever. Which is like, I guess, saying that he didn't know the age or whatever, which we saw the DMs. You knew that the one person you were talking to was 14, and we knew that the other person you were talking to was 16, and you tried to meet up with a different 17-year-old. I mean, like, I think it's safe to say that you're a threat to children. You know, I don't think that's disproportionate to say, and I would definitely be for locking this guy up, quite frankly. Because this guy was in his mid to late 20s, and to my knowledge, this guy's not in the IDD community, so, I mean, it wouldn't make it okay if he was, but, like, there's, like, a different approach you take to it. But the point that I'm making is that this guy knew what he was doing was wrong, like, just to be absolutely clear.
I would never wish that on anybody. For those that felt like I was doing that towards them, I'm sorry.
Choice of words and
who felt like I was doing that to them. Why would you apologize to the people that are witnessing your messages happening? What? That's so weird.
This video,
it's so weird.
Very poor.
As always, with people who feel a lot of remorse for their actions, we receive the classic "sorry you felt that way" non-apology, which feels especially insulting in this case. Buddy should be sorry for acting that way at all. This isn't an interpretive issue.
Why didn't you apologize for the situation where you flirted with that girl, said you're making me have a crush on you even more, and you admitted to someone that was to an underage girl, and you only did it because you were drunk? And I want to say to you,
oh my god, that's another story change. Dude, this guy is like a fucking liar at this point. I mean, as if we needed more confirmation.
Drunk or not, you should know that that's not okay.
Yeah, and even if that was true, right, which it obviously isn't. He's changed his story so many fucking times at this point, and he changes his story just as much as he breathes through that fucking neckbeard of his. Sorry. But, like, even if it was true that he was drunk sending sex messages, that's not an excuse to send sex messages to somebody. Like, if you're drunk and you get into a car crash, you're still responsible and you still go to jail if you're drunk. That doesn't matter. Like, you're still responsible for what you do when you're drunk. I've gotten super drunk before. It's never made me want to sexually assault somebody. It's never made me want to sext minors. It's never made me want to do anything like that. Like, it's never made me want to do anything bad. Like, you can control yourself while you're drunk. That's the point.
Response to this video was overwhelmingly negative, and it was removed by Buddy, whose continued attempts at presenting a sincere tone only felt more contrived each time. But he kept posting campfire chats on his channel, also uploading Dungeons and Dragons content, which has also been removed. His pattern of uploads became increasingly sporadic as he realized that his position was largely becoming irredeemable. As people paid less attention, he had less motivation to actually upload anything. He tried streaming on Twitch, and
I personally don't think this guy should be in society whatsoever. At the very least, he shouldn't have access to electronics, so he can't talk to more underage people.
Occasionally posted videos, even starting his own weight loss journey, which didn't really go anywhere.
I walked to Burger King, then I walked back home.
But sightings of Buddy around this time became increasingly sparse. Creators like Activiz had stopped uploading entirely, meaning that the few outlets to fame he ever had were drying up completely. By this point, nearly everyone had forgotten he existed in the first place. Many would have expected this to be a natural stopping point. While his reputation online had been completely ruined, no one was really thinking about him anymore. Maybe he could just fade into irrelevancy and let this chapter in his life be washed away by the sands of time.
I'm not fucking leaving!
Buddy changed the name of his YouTube channel to Papa Freak before
Papa Freak? Oh my god, Papa Gut, he's ripping you off. He's got the bald head, he's got the glasses. He's kind of got the build like Papa Gut. He's even stealing your name. Instead of Papa Gut, it's Papa Freak. Oh my god, Papa Gut, you should sue this guy.
Posting a new campfire chat titled Clearing the Air in January of 2021.
Oh my god, is this like another response that he's doing? Great, I wonder what story he's gonna make up this time.
Be another attempt by...
What's it gonna be? What do we think? I think it's gonna be that, it was me that sent those messages to them. What if this time maybe he just admits it? What if he's like, yeah, guys, it was me who sent those messages, and I did sex them, and I got sexual pleasure off of it. But it's okay that I did get the sexual pleasure off of it. Is that going to be the story this time? Does that he just like straight up goes full mask off on it?
Him to address the allegations. It's unclear whether he's continuing to do this because he genuinely has some sort of beggar's belief that he can clear his name, or if he knows it's the only thing that generates any publicity. Honestly, I wouldn't put either of these past him, as it seems like attention is the only currency that matters to him. In the description, he writes, after almost 3 years, I address the allegations. My side...
As if he hasn't... He's never addressed the allegations in those past 3 years. It's only been during the, 2019, and that was it, when it was first happening, just addressing the haters. He hasn't addressed it periodically throughout the time between.
Of the story and an apology, ? He phrases this like he's teasing the audience, which is an interesting approach to take when addressing allegations of this nature. He also writes, this was something heavy on my heart, so I know it was time to upload this. I may get some negative feedback for taking so long to properly address it, but here we go. It's interesting that he's framing this like this is the first time he's actually decided to talk about this, failing to mention he has tried like 5 other times, but people still hated him. But as it is the only news statement surrounding this topic that's still accessible to the general public, how does it hold up? He opens by talking about the background of his time.
Honestly, what if he just responded by starting an OnlyFans? Do you think it would get a lot of money? Would people subscribe to the Budday's OnlyFans just to be curious to see the kind of content he would upload there?
Online.
He has a strictly minus 18 or 18 minus policy, not 18 plus, 18 minus policy he has.
Sharing that he had become curious after seeing a short form video app being promoted on Facebook.
And so that's what I did. I started entertaining people at the, me being the butt of the joke, making cringy videos and me just not really caring what people think, just to maybe get a smile or a laugh or two.
Well, clearly you care a lot about what people think because it's affecting your career and people are still saying things about you online, and rightfully so, because you are a fucking threat to children.
A lot of people, and I did so successfully, very well. Not to toot my own horn, but I did really good.
Okay, but
I feel like the only reason why you get big online, is not physically, but anyway, the only reason you get big online is because of the fact that you talk about your situation, because it's basically, you're doing the Nick is not green tactic, where you respond again and again and again, thinking that it's gonna fucking clear up everything and that it'll go back the way it was. It's never gonna go back the way it was because you fucking tainted your own reputation.
Don't flex on us too hard, okay? Some of us have to make really bad videos before we can make kind of bad videos.
Then as things progressed, things got a little out of hand.
You're the cute one here, not me, so.
Here, he addresses the first allegations of the inappropriate and creepy TikToks, stating that they were merely intended to be harmless duets with creators and fans. He acknowledges that he probably shouldn't have done some of them in hindsight, but says that he made them with noble intentions, attempting to
with noble intentions? What the fuck does that even mean? How would it be noble? Hey, I'm just trying to help these, young girls that I'm specifically targeting by doing, a duet as, a creepy guy that looks like he's in his 40s.
Share love through his influence.
I was doing duets with fans and other content creators, and I wanted to share the limelight with people. Maybe I should have thought twice about doing that. Maybe I should have said no to certain videos. Maybe I should have been more adamant about, okay, maybe this is not the right video. Maybe we could do something.
This is kind of a thing we see with a lot of response videos, and it's kind of a pattern I picked up with a lot of really bad response videos. Minilad did the same thing when he was addressing his allegations, where he pretty much just addressed a bunch of shit that was so inconsequential to the actual story. And it was the, but he wasn't actually addressing the meat and potatoes of the allegations. He was using plausible deniability language, essentially, and that's what the Budday is doing here. So he's trying that route now. Great.
different, but I didn't. That's on me. My intent was not to be cringy or flirting or anything like that with anyone.
We saw the DMs. What are you talking about? We saw the DMs with you talking to a fucking 16-year-old and a 14-year-old, then you tried to meet up with a 17-year-old, and apparently there's plenty of other people you tried talking to. What the fuck are you talking about? We saw the DMs.
In any of the videos. So if that came off that way, that's on me. I should have made sure that didn't happen. If you are one of those...
I thought you got hacked. I thought that was the original narrative, or that you got drunk or something. What happened to that narrative?
people, I am sorry.
Although we're...
Oh my god.
We're only a minute and a half into this video, you can see the kind of angle he's going for. He's portraying himself as someone with the best intentions, just trying to help people out. A nice guy, if you will. But his attempts at being nice were misconstrued as unwanted.
He just wants to help children explore their sexuality and their sexual preferences at a young age. He's just doing a great thing.
Advances. This isn't that different to his previous responses, like his interview with Activiz, but it's hard to find this convincing, given that he's once again trying to present this as an actual fresh take, when we know that he's already...
I mean, he's already tried to respond so many times and has changed his story so many fucking times throughout this entire thing. Like, what credibility does he have left? Like, the only people he's gonna upload to at this point are just people that are gonna try to troll him.
Tried this before. He also tries to speak more on his personal life.
I've dealt with a lot of depression, anxiety, schizophrenia.
Here we go, the mental health excuse.
Alcohol.
Because that always works. That always gets people to sympathize with you.
Abuse and...
when you're in controversy.
There's a lot of those videos that I was not necessarily in my correct state of mind. And, you know, that's on me. You know, I'm not trying to, like, diffuse the situation that, oh, it's okay. No, it's not okay. I should have been more present in those times.
Now, I don't think this is information that you can't share with viewers, but when you present it...
I mean, honestly, it's gotten to a point where he's changed his story so many times, and he's obviously just doing this to, like, sympathy grab.
In this laundry list type way, without really explaining how it might have affected your judgment, it does read like deflection. You'll notice that he vocally clarifies that none of this is an excuse. But
I mean, listen, I personally don't think it's necessarily a good idea to talk about your mental health when it comes to online atmospheres. I personally wouldn't really do it that much. I used to a lot back in the day, but I kind of just don't do it as much because I don't think it's productive. And also, what do you expect random people online to do with that information? But here, it's even worse because he's obviously just doing it as, like, sympathy baiting because he got caught texting kids. So...
But if it's not an excuse, then why is he sharing it without any elaboration? Otherwise, it can't feel like anything other than an excuse. It feels like Budday is copying more effective apology videos without understanding that a good—
Oh my god, Jenna Marbles' cancellation is such bullshit. Like, what? She made, like, a racist joke back in, like, what was it, 2012 or 2011 or something like that? Who cares? And, like, Jenna Marbles stopped creating content after that, like, and I don't know. I personally think Jenna Marbles overcorrected, and I feel like she should just come back to the internet. People would accept her at this point, because it's like, honestly, who's gonna like, who actually cares that someone said a racist thing or made a racist joke back in 2012 or 2011? Oh no, I'm fucking getting my panties in a twist over it. Get a fucking grip. Honestly, go outside. Anyone who's still offended about it years later, like, go outside. Fucking socialize with people. Find more productive things to do. It's so stupid. It's like you have more people putting cancellation energy into that as opposed to, like, I don't know, like legitimate predators like the Budday, I guess.
Apology has to come from a sincere place. You have to mean it.
There are conversations between me and some underage people. My intent is never to groom, prey, or sexualize anyone.
We saw the DMs, dude. Like, it may not have been, I don't know, like, whether it is or it isn't grooming, it doesn't fucking matter. Like, we saw the DMs of you literally flirting with kids.
Whether you are of age or not of age. I am just a friendly person, and
whether you are or aren't of age, I'm just a friendly person. Why would you even include this in your video? Oh my, as if we needed more confirmation, but it just further proves to me, at least, that, like, this guy obviously has no fucking boundaries in place whatsoever. You are, like, in your mid to late 20s. You have no business DMing kids whatsoever for any fucking reason whatsoever, dude. Especially given the fact that you've had these allegations looming over you. Even if the allegations are false, why would you even put yourself in that position, or why would you even open yourself up to being like, hey, you know, whether you are or aren't of age, I'm just a friendly guy that's willing to talk whenever. Like, why would you even fucking give yourself that narrative to begin with? Like, this just goes to show that he doesn't think what he did was that bad.
Maybe that comes off to some people the wrong way.
This is another angle that he's tried to sell before, but I think it's very hard to look at the evidence, particularly some messages where he behaves really suggestively, and say that it was just him trying to be friendly.
Think about this tongue. All up in your mouth. And that's okay.
It's so weird, dude. Yeah, like, you were caught, like, red-handed, pretty much trying to meet up with kids and, like, flirt with kids in DMs.
It took me a little while to realize that might be construed the wrong way, but it is never my intention, and if you are one of those people, I am sorry.
He's obviously saying sorry a lot more clearly in this video, but I think the issue is that if he truly is sorry, then he would be a lot more transparent about his actions. In this case, he's downplaying what he did, and then also acting like it was bad to make it look like he's taking more accountability than he actually needs to, as an attempt to endear himself to the audience. In reality, the opposite is true. This isn't nearly enough because he's suggesting that what were extremely creepy advances onto underage girls were just innocent remarks that were misinterpreted. The next thing he brings up is how a picture of his dick ended up being sent to a kid.
Because he was hacked. Clearly, that's going to be the narrative.
As far as the picture of my junk, you know, I did say, you know, I was having problems with alcohol and anxiety and depression with schizophrenia. I wasn't taking my medicine. I was using alcohol to self-medicate myself, and, you know, as a lot of people do, we take pictures. And we do send them to people.
But this explanation...
Okay, dude. I don't know, man. When I'm drunk, I don't think to take pictures of my penis and send them to kids. When I'm drunk, I don't even touch anybody. Literally, I don't put my hands on anybody when I'm drunk. When I'm drunk, I just vibe. I chill. That's it. Like, I am very self-aware when I'm drunk. I feel like when you're drunk, you can be self-aware to some extent. Now, can you be a little more silly than usual? Yeah, that's possible. But being drunk is not an excuse to send nudes to minors.
Does not match up with what he said back when all of this started.
The alleged dick picture. That's a picture from 2 years ago. That I sent to an adult.
So now he's rewriting the record, saying that this picture is not a historic artifact, but instead something that was taken at the same time as the allegations.
Once again, another story change.
But he's also saying that it was sent to other people in a haze of alcohol and substances, and it somehow just happened to make its way into the inbox of a kid.
I was embarrassed that even got out in the first place. And then it got sent to someone who it should not have. I don't know how it got sent to someone that was underage. I'm still trying to figure that out.
Because... Wait, what?
3 years, I still have not figured that out. I have...
That makes no sense to me. You're trying to figure out 3 years, like, in the process of 3 years, how your dick got sent to a fucking kid on your account. Like, either you would have figured out that it was legitimately hacked, but that's obviously not true because that's a lie, but you said you're trying to figure out how it got sent there. Otherwise, if it wasn't hacked or someone wasn't on your account, it would be no one else to send it to the kid but you. How would you try to figure out how it got sent to a kid 3 years later? That doesn't make any sense to me. That makes absolutely no fucking sense.
FBI.
There's no way this guy messaged the FBI asking them to figure out how a picture of his junk ended up in some kid's DMs.
That's fucking crazy. There's no way. I don't buy that either.
That did not happen. With these blatant lies and contradictions, any good faith that could be afforded to Budday is now gone. But we still have 5 more minutes of this video to go through.
If you are that person, or you are one of those people, I am sorry. That was never meant to get to you.
Why didn't you apologize during the time when it was happening? You were literally just framing everybody as haters and saying, oh, my account was hacked. That was like the first narrative you ran, and then you changed your story a million times. Why didn't you apologize then?
Taking steps to make sure that does not happen again.
Yeah, the steps you can do to make sure that doesn't happen again is never come back. Literally log off. Don't ever go on social media again. disable all electronics in your house and just fucking be offline, or turn yourself into the police. I'm partial to the second option.
This also doesn't really make sense. What steps do you have to take? He's acting like this is a common issue where people take photos of themselves naked and it just happens to end up on the screen of someone who isn't old enough to view it. It feels like this is just a new version of the hacking claim, and it doesn't really add up. But Budday then turns his attention to YouTubers like Activiz, who we've already gone over, and Caseyatron, who had published videos on Budday, but
whoa, Caseyatron? You mean Caseytron's little brother?
Has since removed all of his content. By 2021, both of these people hadn't uploaded anything on their main channels for a while, but Budday had some words of wisdom for them.
Activists, I don't hate you, I don't dislike you. I honestly like some of your videos. You've got a decent personality. I'm not sure if, you know, I struck a chord with you because
it's probably A minor. I'm sorry. He wrote the joke for me. He walked right into that one. You guys knew that joke was coming.
Of, you know, obviously the reason behind the videos, but I hold no ill will towards you. I hope you succeed professionally and personally. Same thing with Caseyatron. You know, we're bald brothers, you know.
I didn't know Caseyatron was bald. Is that why? Is it from smoking all that weed that she does on stream? Bro, imagine like a baldy like Caseyatron existing. That's crazy.
I've got nothing against
Baldtron getting into a lawsuit with Ethan Klein.
It's definitely weird to say that on one hand, you're innocent and were totally misinterpreted, but then on the other hand, say that you actually like some of the people who are causing those misinterpretations in the first place.
Because he's full of shit. He's obviously trying to revive his career, and he's done this a million times at this point. I don't think the Budday deserves any charity. Like, at this point. Like, he's obviously a threat to kids, and I really wish he would get arrested, but he's not going to. I just know that for a fact.
I think he just wanted them to
Unless Turkey Tom reveals that later in this video, and we haven't gotten that far yet.
Make response videos saying that they felt bad about how they had treated him and supporting the idea that he was framed back in the day. He's essentially trying to guilt trip them, but as far as I can tell, it didn't really work. He then segues into talking about how he wants to move forward with his life and the steps he's taking to do so.
I'm staying away from TikTok. As much as you people ask me to go back.
As much as you people, who the fuck is asking him to go back to TikTok?
Away from it, just so none of this shit happens again. So it doesn't get misconstrued again. I've stopped drinking completely.
Okay. I mean, it doesn't really matter either. I mean, I guess that's good, but it doesn't matter. That wouldn't be an excuse for why you were talking with kids inappropriately.
I'm back on my medicine. I'm in therapy. Okay. I'm getting the help that I need.
All of that is good, of course. It's nice that he's staying away from the apps and not abusing alcohol or other substances. With all that said, I can't help but feel these pledges are more just to continue pushing the agenda that they were the main causes for his actions.
And not only that, but he's obviously just saying all these things so people can trust him again, just so he can make content again. He's obviously trying to revive his career. This didn't work the previous times he tried, and it's certainly not going to work this time, which I believe the timeline now, this video was January of 2021, I believe.
Rather than his own personal gooning.
I am finally at the point in my life where I feel like I can do that. Where I can admit my faults. Not accept the guilt, but accept the responsibility. Because I was not in complete control, but it does not excuse what happened.
I wouldn't want Budday here to say he's attracted to children if he genuinely isn't. You shouldn't admit to something you don't believe to be true. If he wants to pursue adult relationships, then that's good, right? At the same time, there has to be something else that led you to behave in such a way beyond alcohol and schizophrenia. There are plenty of people with those issues who don't end up talking to countless underage people in inappropriate ways and sending them explicit content. If Budday can't unpack that competently, then I don't think he's really reflected on what he did.
So, I hope this is enough, and if it isn't, that is alright. At least I can get this off my chest and maybe salvage what little bit of a life I can have.
Buddy has had the opportunity to move on. In fact, he's had years to do so. And yet, he keeps coming back to the source of his infamy, attempting to rewrite the record because it was the closest thing to being popular online that he's ever had. Practically everyone else had moved on by this video, but he was clinging to the last remnant of relevance by attempting to bring attention back to what he was most remembered for, while also failing to provide any compelling response that actually discredits the more serious allegations.
This has affected me, my friends, and my family personally. To my family, I'm sorry that you had to go through this with me. I love you. You've always been...
They've had to go through it because of what you did, just to be absolutely clear.
Very supportful of me. My friends, I know you, some of you have been quiet. Quiet supporters, not really want to say anything. For those that have...
Keep fucking banging into my desk. Ugh, it's so annoying. Like, my elbow keeps, like, clocking into my desk. It's, like, very annoying when I, like, try to move it. Sorry about that, guys, if you guys hear that.
Have been outspoken for me. I support you. For those that haven't, I don't hate you. I don't dislike you. I want you to succeed. And I hope that maybe things can be fixed as far as any friendships that may have happened.
In the last few...
Cool, dude. Maybe don't ever come back to the internet, please. Hopefully this is the last of him that we'll see. Maybe, I mean, there's still 11 minutes left to go in this video, so...
minutes of the video, he continues his list of apologies, and a naive person might even begin to think that there's some genuine attempt at undoing the damage he's done. But just when you think there's nothing left for this guy to add, he shares one tiny request in passing.
I am going to be a better person. I'm going to be a better Papa Freak. I'm going to start...
Maybe don't be a freak at all. I don't know. You ever think of that one?
2021 on a better note. And I hope...
I'm going to start 2021 on a better note, aka by not talking to kids.
That maybe I would like if the YouTube people would take down the videos about me.
Oh my god. You see, this is what I'm talking about. This is exactly what he wants. He wants people to rewrite the history of what happened so he could start a career again.
I'm not expecting you to, but if you do...
You obviously are expecting them to. You literally just said you were hoping that they would.
That's great. If you don't, that's fine.
And this is where we see what this is really about. Buddy realized that making threats and demands towards creators does not work. So, to showcase his personal growth, he expresses that it would just be nice if the videos on him were taken down.
I have made a video about this before, apologizing, but it didn't seem sincere to some people. Hopefully this one is more sincere, more thoughtful. I've thought about this, I've prayed about it, I feel better about it. So, you know,
cool, dude.
Maybe this is a more tonally appropriate response video, but his approach is still to downplay and outright ignore many of the accusations that were directed at him.
So you say you don't know a person by the name of Kat whatsoever?
No.
You've never talked to someone named Kat within the past 3 months?
No.
That lives in Thompson Stages?
No. I think I'd remember that.
There's not even a mention of the 16-year-old girl that Buddy thought it was okay to talk dirty to, no mention of the 17-year-old catfish that Activiz had set up for him, which is kinda insane given that he addresses Activiz directly in the video. This is not the language or the expressions of someone who actually wants to change. This is someone who wants to escape his past by using the passage of time, and people's hazy recall of what had happened years before. He wants to obfuscate the facts concerning these interactions that he supposedly feels a lot of remorse for. No matter how it was packaged, the video was still just another vehicle by Buddy to try and slither his way back into a small audience's good graces. But going off the fact that he turned the comment section off, we can assume that this strategy failed. And since then, he's not uploaded to his channel.
Yeah, because turning off the comments makes you look good, clearly.
One of the deleted comments reads, "Maybe you sent it to someone that was underage when you had drank quite a lot, and maybe you forgot you did it." And Papa Freak responds, "It's a possibility."
Just a minor slip up.
which is completely different from what he said in the video. It's really hard to grasp that someone could be this inept at handling this situation, but Budday always knew how to raise the bar. You can see what he's going for throughout the whole video, but his attempts at manipulation are so crude that there's no way that anyone could take his statements at face value. If he was being honest in his intent that he wanted to move on from this part of his life, that he really wanted to be the best papa freak he could be, then he would have to move on from being the Budday as well.
Welcome to the Bardic Cauldron, wizards young and old, where terrible jokes are told. Grab you a mug of your favorite brew, grab your seat, and enjoy the view.
Over the next couple of years, most accounts associated with him would fall inactive and be deleted, with him relinquishing dreams of becoming an influencer in favor of low-key Dungeons and Dragons content. The only real social media
I'll never be able to play D&D again without thinking of the Budday. This is so sad.
Footprint left in his name now is an account by the name of King Budday 2010, but all that it posts is crypto content. It's unclear to me whether this account has been hacked or if Budday has just become a crypto bro. However, one tweet reads, #runes is like teenage sex.
Okay, dude. Yeah, right. He's totally beating the allegations with this tweet.
Everybody talks about it. Nobody really knows how to do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you a little bit of a normal take. Most people do not talk about teenagers having sex, let alone teenagers having sex with adults. Most people don't do that, buddy. I think that's a pretty normal thing to think, that somebody who's in their mid to late 20s probably shouldn't be sexting teenagers or having sex with them for that matter. I think that's a pretty normal thing to think.
Everyone thinks everyone else is doing it, so everyone claims they are doing it. I don't really know what to say about that, but...
Hello?
That was a 2024 tweet as well? That's so fucking funny. That means all the responses he gave, like, I mean, I guess he just stopped caring about, like, the consistency with his narrative, and he finally decided, you know what? What if I just play into it? What if I play into, being a total fucking freak?
People of YouTube, I'm King Budday. Yes, that's my alias. I'm just saying because I don't want you to know my real name.
In the last few years, with Budday largely out of the picture, retrospectives have mostly served as the narrative on his life, and that short moment under the most corrupted spotlight there could be. One detail I think is often overlooked in the context of TikTok people is that they often come and go so quickly.
I think he meant to say TikTok predators. You can say predators on YouTube, but I think Turkey Tom may be scared of getting demonetized.
That we don't actually know their story. A lot of the time, all we have is a brief snapshot of insanity.
So I'm back. There is no stopping me. There is no stopping the storm, the fire that is the Budday.
But with
the fire in this penis pic from the inflammation of the alcohol I'm drinking.
I
tried to cook with that joke, and it clearly I did not cook with that whatsoever. I tried.
Budday. Most people's knowledge of him begins and ends in late 2018. We don't really know what he did before then. And although his online ventures have taken him in a few different directions in the past few years, we don't know what else has been going on in his life. In comparison to other sites, TikTok makes a less active effort to foster emotional loyalty, allowing the public to create these pockets of fame for people who probably wouldn't have appeal anywhere else.
Hey Siri, find me a big, beautiful woman. Well, hello.
As I already explained in my Sierra Green video, when people like Budday get a ton of fame and attention without anyone really looking beneath the surface, sometimes eccentricity can masquerade more unsettling tendencies. The Budday may not have truly been the first TikTok predator. Back when the app started, it was crawling with...
He's certainly not going to be the last either.
Creepy individuals, but his flabby body, bald head, and creepy videos with teenage girls did come together into the perfect representation of a weird Discord mod type guy. His content itself was the most glaring red flag out there, but at the time, people just saw it as cringe instead of being a threat to young girls.
You're behind the couch.
How do you know that?
I can see your feet.
Ew, no. The man chose this audio for very specific purposes, which I will not disclose. For that, my friend, you're getting...
Because of the... I'm pretty sure, like, back in the day, YouTube demonetization was, like, such a big deal. It was so, like... was it because of, like, the adpocalypse thing? Like, because that was, like, a huge thing in 2017, and people were still having trouble with, like, monetization even after that. I think YouTube has gotten their shit together since then, but still.
Not your retirement home.
It's, during that time, in 2018, 2019 era, a little bit, but I'm pretty sure the Adpocalypse was like 2017. I guess it like leaked on for a little longer. I don't know. I don't remember all the details. It's been a while.
Not for freedom. You're going to in jail.
Even so, when he was exposed, it wasn't really a shock. If anything, the most shocking aspect was that an actually underage girl had hopped into his DMs in an attempt to bait him into creeping on her. This is the kind of thing that really only would have been overlooked in 2018. But even if this wasn't the safest way to expose someone...
Well, I think people would defend it even like years later, because there's a lot of people that defend predators now. I mean, look at Donald Trump. Donald Trump is a fucking pedophile on the Epstein files, most likely. I mean, at this point, it's basically like we kind of know it already, but like people still choose to defend Trump and people still choose to cover up for him. So if they'd be willing to cover up for Trump, they'd certainly be willing to cover up for Budday.
The evidence really spoke for itself.
Guess what? They did an IP search before they even came. Make sure I wasn't lying. Didn't come from my phone or my address. So guess what? Not me.
Nonetheless, Buddy Haynes would attempt to deny it, providing various conflicting explanations. He said it wasn't him, then he said he had been hacked, then he said he didn't know the person's age, then he said he was drunk, then he said he had schizophrenia, then he said it was all legal. But none of it really worked. And with the evidence facing him, TikTok didn't hesitate to take action, deleting his account and ripping a majority of his audience away. For most people, the story ends there. But while some would definitely find the peak of this drama the most fascinating, for me, it's the next few years. They showed how intoxicating the taste of TikTok virality can truly be, as you watch a person who really, under all circumstances, should want nothing to do with the most publicly humiliating part of their life, attempt to claw back credibility and fame that they never possessed in the first place. It's like to Buddy, getting famous on TikTok for 3 weeks was the equivalent of doing heroin once.
Well, I think that's very common for a lot of people, more than people care to admit. You know, because like a lot of kids, especially during COVID, like this really is exacerbated when like tons of people got famous on COVID and everybody was inside. No one else had anything to do. And so even content that wasn't really particularly that great or had a lot of effort into it would still blow up because people were just on TikTok all day during COVID. But once people started going to work again in like 2021 and 2022, people started going outside more and started getting jobs again. That sustainability just wasn't quite there.
And for the rest of his life, no matter what highs he chases, the only thing that would truly satisfy him would be to be famous on TikTok again.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing the same thing here with Budday.
Even when he continued to be exposed and called out, he still tried his best to claw back. The problem with Buddy was that while he found fame as the cringy persona he had created, he attempted to refurbish his image as a socially awkward guy who didn't even know how to flirt, which was true, but not in the way he thought. If he had genuinely just been a clueless individual who didn't understand social boundaries, you wouldn't see such a disproportionate representation of certain people in his content. Everything here really sent the same message. Buddy was a pervert and also a really bad liar.
I would never intentionally bother or creep on anyone that is not a legal adult.
Except if I'm drunk.
I'm just not.
Or if I'm hacked.
Kind of person. Now, whether or not this is, you know, something that really irritates people or not, age of consent in UK is 16.
His lies showed that he never really understood why he was popular in the first place. He didn't realize that people weren't laughing with him, they were laughing at him. And the only way to ever really win back the influence that he had lost all those years ago would be to indulge that insanity once more.
I am just a friendly person, and maybe that comes off to some people the wrong way.
His final video really cemented his fate. After continuously being dragged for his defiant stance, he changed to a more apologetic tone, thinking that at least presenting a guise of accountability might make people reevaluate how they felt about him. It might make his detractors remove their videos, and maybe TikTok would restore his account so he could have all that former glory back. This was the most honest we ever saw him. Someone for whom the truth was too big a price to pay for any semblance of respect. He knew that admitting everything would bring that story to a close, so he wanted to keep fighting his battle, no matter how badly he was losing, no matter if he was the only person still dwelling on the situation, the Hiru Onoda of his own reputational war.
Moving forward, I would like to just move on with my life.
You've probably noticed that a lot of what I've gone over in this video, even the most notorious content, is now kind of hard to find. That's because nobody thought it was important enough to save. And the footprints of his post-controversy internet existence have been washed away by the tides of change. As he himself said, the attention was what kept him alive. But since 2018, he's been a dead man walking. Outside of his online presence, we don't really know where he's been since then, or if he'll try to recapture some of his past magic. But like many 15-minute scandals, as big as they are, the internet has a habit of forgetting. So why does Budday Haynes want us to remember?
Because the less followers I get, the more I want to be on. The more followers I get, the more I love to be on here.
For Budday, it was that brief moment of adrenaline when he was the center of attention. His life before and after isn't something that the greater public has been interested in, which is why he loved that brief moment where everyone was paying attention, no matter what it was for.
The greatest thing about hitting rock bottom is there's only one place to go, and that's up.
Budday Haynes may have been the first, but he was far from the last to act this way. But you can't fight the winds of change when your position as internet punching bag is replaced by the next guy. Whether it takes days...
Okay, the Ava Tyson thing. I've already talked about the Ava Tyson thing earlier in this video. We don't need to, like, go into it again. But it's just, like, I don't think Ava Tyson is comparable to someone like the Budday.
Weeks, months, or years, it always happens. In the case of people like Budday Haynes, that may be a blessing in disguise. I've been Turkey Tom, thanks for watching, and until next time...
Three Labubu's doing 6-7!
I've heard it 1,000 times before, and it's just not...
Alright, that's the end of the video. Yeah, that's fucking crazy. Hopefully the Budday stays off the internet, and hopefully he has no access to minors anymore, because that is fucking insane. But cool stuff, Turkey Tom. Thank you for making this video.